It's not hard to envision what's going to happen where there are programs that earn tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars with the incentive to win, and the passionate fan base and the supporters who would be all too happy to write a check that's tax deductible as a marketing expense to attract a student athlete. These things happen on the black market already, right? So I don't know if you have an opinion or prediction you're willing to share, but I would love to know, what you think this means practically for Division I, the Power Five, and the Big East. Because, winning national championships at Villanova and your member institutions, which has happened, they have to compete for that talent with schools at that level.
Well, there's no question this will be yet another factor for student athletes to consider when they choose their schools. Right now they go through their list. It's, do I like the coach? How far away from home is it? I'm walking around the campus. Do I feel like I belong here? How nice is the weight room? How good is the team? How many minutes is the coach promising me I'm going to play? Mm-hmm. Oh, and where can I most optimize my NIL opportunities? And so I do think, I'm just going to put it this way, I can't think of any other way to explain it. This will be an arms race. Schools will be competing. They already have started. Will be competing to offer to the athletes the best possible NIL resources and services. Under the framework, they're not allowed to get these kids the deals. I mean, that will be the test, to your point. Is this workable in the college space? Because under the rules, they're not allowed to facilitate these deals. The students have to get those themselves. They're not allowed to have the school be the middleman. The schools can't promise deals in the recruiting process. Boosters can't be involved in these deals. I mean, there's actually complexities around sort of good boosters versus, boosters that induce.
And these rules you're sharing, though, are the NCAA's desired rules, right? I mean, some of what's going into law says they absolutely have the right to.
The NCAA, what we're trying to construct is a framework where there is no, these arrangements are not inducements in either the recruiting, incoming player landscape, or transfers. And by the way, you noted transfer rules have just changed. Exactly. Things have loosened up there. So I am very sure that athletes now will consider NIL in their transfer decisions, not just their, hey, what school am I going to go to out of high school? It'll be, hey, could I get a better NIL arrangement if I move from school A to school B? And now on a one-time basis, you can play right away. So don't think that won't be a factor. I believe it will be. So the answer to your question is, I don't know. Some of the issues that most of our folks have been concerned about, like booster involvement, fair market value around the deal, conflicts between student athlete deals and a university athletics department deal, pre-enrollment, what happens if a kid comes in with a deal or has a big sneaker company contract that they get in 8th grade? What do we care? Do we care about that? I mean, these are all the kinds of complexities that have contributed to this being, frankly, a long process of review. And last but not least, the big unknown is congressional intervention or not. I mean, Congress is very interested. There's a number of bills that are being considered. Some are narrow and would get to NIL only. Which is good. They would come up with a single national law that would preempt 50 different state laws that are different. So that's a positive. Maybe they'll provide some litigation protection, but some are more expansive than that and want to go further in terms of healthcare and additional educational expenses. Some go so far as to say we should have revenue sharing. Athletics departments should be turning over a portion of their revenue to the students, which is frankly problematic for probably all schools. And so where this goes is really hard to say, but I think there's no question this is one of the most momentous moments, momentous junctures. I'll do two different words here in NCAA history. The fact that all of these currents are sort of swirling and they come on top of a recovery from COVID, a very rough year for our schools as everybody's endeavored to, get through the pandemic. And then on top of that, just the usual concerns compounded by, newer concerns like racial and social justice and the diversity points that you raised earlier. All this is sort of in the cauldron. And so, frankly, we've got our hands full in college sports to make sense of all of that and to operate the enterprise as responsibly as we can in the face of all of it.